The rain hammered the motel's neon sign like fists on a coffin lid, turning the parking lot into a slick graveyard of forgotten sedans. Officer Jake Harlan slammed his cruiser door, flashlight slicing through the downpour, toward room 17, where screams had cracked the night open, raw, desperate cries that clawed at his badge-hardened gut. He kicked the door in, splintering cheap pine, and there was the kid, 17 maybe, cornered against peeling wallpaper by a hulking shadow reeking of cheap whiskey and hate, a knife glinting like a promise of blood. "Drop it now," Jake's voice boomed, gun drawn steady, the kind of command that had ended bar fights and chases without a shot fired. The man, mid-40s, tattooed knuckles curling around the blade, snarled something ugly about faggots and teaching lessons, but Jake's glare pinned him like a moth to corkboard. The kid, soaked in sweat and terror, his dark hair plastered to a bruised forehead, whispered, "Help." And in that syllable, Jake saw not just a victim, but a mirror to the ghosts he'd buried years ago. The arrest was textbook. Cuffs clicked, rights recited under the siren's wail, the motel manager wringing hands like dish rags in the lobby. But as paramedics swaddled the boy in a scratchy blanket, Jake lingered, compelled by the way those green eyes, wide, haunted, locked onto his for a beat too long. "Name's Alex," the kid murmured, voice cracking like thin ice. "Thanks for not letting him finish." Jake nodded, throat tight, and turned to secure the scene. That's when he saw it, tucked under the mattress, a faded Polaroid, edges curled like old secrets. He lifted it, heart stuttering. A boy, maybe 12, grinning gap-toothed beside a lanky teen with Jake's jawline, Jake's eyes. His brother, Tommy, missing for 8 years. And the runaway holding the blanket's edge stared at the photo like it was a grenade pin pulled. Jake's world tilted, the room's stale air thickening into something suffocating. He pocketed the photo, mind racing through protocols he'd memorized, but never felt claw at his ribs like this. Alex, Tommy's friend? His shadow? The questions piled like storm debris, but the kid was already being wheeled out, ambulance lights painting the lot in crimson pulses. "Wait," Jake called, jogging after, rain stinging his face. "That picture. Where'd you get it?" Alex's gaze flickered, guarded now. The vulnerability shuddered behind walls Jake knew too well from his own youth in this Rust Belt nowhere of upstate New York. "Belonged to the guy you cuffed," Alex said flatly. "He was family, sort of." The doors swung shut, sirens dopplering into the night, leaving Jake drenched and unraveling. Back at the station, the bullpen hummed with fluorescent buzz and coffee bitterness, deputies trading war stories over lukewarm mugs. Jake bypassed them, beelining for interrogation where the attacker, Dale Harlan, his uncle, for Christ's sake, slouched in cuffs, smirking through a split lip. "Family reunion, nephew?" Dale rasped, voice gravel from smokes and scorn. Jake slammed the folder down, the photo spilling out like an accusation. 8 years, Dale. You knew where Tommy was. And this kid, Alex, what the hell did you do to him? Dale's laugh was a wheeze, eyes gleaming with the malice of a man who'd always seen Jake's badge as a betrayal. "Tommy ran 'cause he was one of 'em, Jake. Soft, like that stray you dragged in. I was just cleaning up." The words landed like buckshot, ripping open scars Jake had cauterized with duty and denial. Tommy, his little brother, the one who'd vanished after their parents' crash, leaving Jake to shoulder the Harlan name alone. Whispers in town had always swirled. Tommy's phase, the church elders' pitying nods. But Jake had shoved it down, joined the force to prove he was the strong one, the straight arrow cop in a family fraying at the seams. Now, Alex's face haunted him, those green eyes echoing Tommy's laugh in the photo's frozen joy. He stormed out, keys jangling, driving through pre-dawn fog to the hospital where Alex lay in a sterile bed, for dripping like slow tears. The kid looked smaller under the sheets, bruises blooming purple on his cheek, but his chin lifted defiantly when Jake entered. "You again," Alex said, not quite a question. Jake pulled a chair close, the photo trembling in his grip. "This is my brother, Tommy. How do you know him?" "Dale, he's my uncle," said Tommy ran because. He trailed off, the word gay sticking like burrs. Alex's expression cracked, a flash of something raw, grief, maybe, or recognition. Tommy didn't run from you, man. He ran from all of it. The town, the family, the hate. We met in Philly, crashing at the same shelter. He talked about you nonstop. Big bro Jake, the hero cop who'd fix everything. Alex's voice wavered, fingers twisting the blanket. Then he got sick. AIDS, back when it was a death sentence. Last thing he gave me was that photo. Said, find Jake if I don't make it. Tell him I'm sorry for being me. The room spun, monitors beeping a frantic rhythm to Jake's pulse. Tommy gone. Not missing, but lost to a plague the world had ignored while Jake patrolled potholes. Guilt crashed in, tidal and merciless, mingling with a fierce protectiveness for this echo of his brother, Alex, with his quiet fire and unspoken wounds. You're staying with me, Jake blurted, the words escaping before policy or pride could cage them. No foster roulette, no streets. I owe Tommy that much. Alex searched his face, suspicion warring with a hunger for belief. Why? You don't even know me. Jake leaned in, voice low. Because those eyes? They're his. And I won't lose another one. Dawn bled pink through the blinds as Jake signed the kid out, paperwork greased by his badge and a social worker's weary nod. Alex moved like a ghost in the passenger seat, backpack slung over one shoulder. All he owned, stuffed with dog-eared paperbacks and a battered journal. The drive to Jake's bungalow on Elm Street was silent, upstate New York's skeletal trees whispering judgments in the wind. Inside, the place smelled of takeout and solitude, leather couch scarred from boot heels, walls bare save for commendations framed like shields. Bathrooms down the hall, Jake said, awkward as a first date. I'll heat up some soup. Alex nodded, vanishing behind the door, water hissing soon after. While the pot simmered, Jake rifled the journal Alex had left on the coffee table. Tommy's handwriting scrawled in margins, confessions of love for a faceless boy, rants against the church that branded him sinner. Jake's chest ached, memories flooding. Summer bonfires where Tommy dodged Dad's fishing trips. The way he'd blush at high school crushes Jake pretended not to notice. He'd failed him, buried in denial, letting Dale's bigotry fester unchecked. A splash from the bathroom yanked him back. Alex emerged, towel-turbaned, in oversized sweats that drowned his frame. Thanks, he muttered, spooning soup with mechanical dips. For this. For. Everything. Don't, Jake said, sharper than intended. I'm not a saint. Just a guy who should have been there. Alex set the bowl down, green eyes piercing. Tommy said you were scared. Of what people would think. Of him dragging you down. The truth stung, laid bare in the lamplight. Jake rubbed his jaw, stubble rasping. Maybe, but fear's a lousy excuse. What's your story, Alex? Why the motel? Why Dale? Alex's shoulders hunched, the weight of untold miles pressing down. Philly after Tommy, then buses west. Thought California was rainbows, but it's just more rain. Hitched here, needed cash, motel gig. Dale showed up last week, saw the photo, flipped. Called me a thief, worse. Said I was corrupting his good blood. Bitterness twisted his mouth. Turns out, he's the one with the skeletons. They talked till midnight bled into one, words weaving fragile bridges over chasms of loss. Alex's laugh, when it came, soft, surprised at Jake's clumsy joke about precinct coffee, echoed Tommy's, thawing something frozen in Jake's core. But dawn brought reality. Arraignment for Dale, whispers rippling through the station like smoke. Harlan's kin to that queer bait, a veteran deputy muttered, loud enough to carry. Jake's fists clenched, but he swallowed it, focusing on Alex's intake forms, vouching for kinship ties that weren't blood but felt deeper. Weeks blurred into a tentative rhythm. Alex enrolled in community college, art classes sketching faces that mirrored his own quiet storm. Jake pulled overtime, dodging sidelong stares, his protectiveness sharpening into something unnamed. Affection, maybe, born of shared silences over diner pancakes. But cracks spiderwebbed. Alex's nightmares, thrashing awake with cries of, Tommy, wait. Jake's dates fizzling, women sensing his divided heart. Then the letter came, postmarked Philly, from a shelter director. Tommy's effects, a box Jake cracked open in the garage, dust motes dancing like fireflies. Inside, letters to Alex, unsent, professing a love Jake had never guessed. Tommy's heart given freely, unashamed. And a note to him. Big bro, don't hate what you don't understand. Love's not a crime. Jake wept thin, wrenching sobs that left him hollow. Alex finding him there, kneeling wordless, hand on his back. A touch that sparked electricity, platonic yet profound. He loved you, Alex whispered. We both do. As family. But in the dim bulb's glow, Jake wondered if family was all it could be, if the lines he'd drawn in sand could shift without crumbling the world. Fall leaves carpeted the streets as Thanksgiving loomed, the town gearing for turkey trots and pious prayers. Jake invited Alex to the station potluck, a test of waters murky with prejudice. You sure? Alex asked, tugging his thrift store sweater. I don't want to be your regret. Jake clapped his shoulder, firm. You're my choice. The hall buzzed with forced cheer, deputies' wives eyeing Alex like an exotic bird. Then Dale, out on bail, sauntered in, sneer curling. Brought the stray, huh? Town's talking, Jake. Your career, poof. The room hushed, forks pausing midair. Jake stepped forward, voice steel. My family's my business, Dale. Yours is a sell for what you did to that kid. Murmurs swelled, but a young officer, Reyes, openly gay, badge shining, stood. Harlan's right. We protect our own, period. The tide shifted, tentative claps rippling, Dale slinking out red-faced. Later, in the truck, Alex grinned, genuine. Hero move. Jake flushed, deflecting. Team effort. But home brought ambush. A call from Internal Affairs, anonymous tip about inappropriate relations with a minor. Jake's blood iced too. Dale, venomous to the end. It's bullshit, he told Alex over cold pizza, but doubt not. Alex's face paled. I should go? Before I ruin you. Panic flared, Jake grabbing his wrist, gentle. No. We fight this. Together. That night, confessions spilled. Alex's fear of abandonment. Jake's buried attraction to strength in vulnerability. Not labels, but souls. I see you, Jake said. Not Tommy's ghost. You. Winter clamped down, snow muffling the world's cruelty, but investigations dragged, whispers festering. Alex threw himself into sketches, charcoal portraits of Tommy alive in memory, while Jake volunteered at the LGBTQ Center, awkward at first, then fervent, story hours for queer youth, his badge a beacon. One evening, a girl with Alex's eyes, his sister, Runaway too, burst in, sobbing. They said you were dead. Turns out, Alex had fled not just home, but a twin bond, prejudice fracturing it. Reunion was tear-streaked, messy, the three of them, Jake included, huddled in the center's lounge, forging family from fractures. The twist came swift, the tip traced to Dale, but deeper, a Harlan cousin with mayoral pull, shielding the name. Jake confronted him at the family plot, graves white under moonlight. Tommy deserved better. We all do. The cousin sneered, blood's thicker. But Jake's recording, Reyes tech-savvy, caught it all, leverage flipping the script. Charges mounted, not just assault but conspiracy. The town council squirming as headlines screamed, cop exposes family corruption. Climax brewed at Alex's first gallery show, student works hung in the community hall, his piece, a diptych of Motel shadows yielding to dawn light, drawing gasps. Jake arrived late, suit crisp, heart pounding. Dale crashed it, drunk and raging, lunging with slurred slurs. Chaos erupted, punches thrown, canvases toppling. Jake tackled him, badge forgotten in the fray, Alex shielding a younger artist. Sirens wailed, back up, and as Dale was dragged away, his eyes locked on the diptych. That's Tommy's lie, he spat. But Alex stepped forward, voice steady. No, it's truth. And Jake's part of it now. In the aftermath, clean up under starlight, Jake pulled Alex aside. That photo changed me. You changed me. Alex's hand found his, tentative. Love's not about saving. It's staying. Their embrace was chaste, profound, a promise amid ruins. Spring thawed the town, prejudices cracking like ice. Jake's promotion laced with quiet pride. Alex's sister moved in, the bungalow alive with laughter. And in quiet moments, Jake traced the photo's edges, Tommy's smile forgiving. They'd built something unbreakable, not despite the pain, but through it. The sun slanted through the bungalow's lace curtains, gilding dust motes in lazy spirals as Jake sipped coffee black as his mood. 6 months since the motel, and the house felt less like a bunker, more like a hearth. Alex's sketches pinned to fridge like badges of progress, his sister's laughter echoing from the kitchen where she flipped pancakes with teenage flair. Mia, 16 and fierce, had slotted in like a missing puzzle piece, her arrival a bomb and a blaze. "Pass the syrup, hero cop," she teased Jake, eyes twinkling with the same green mischief as Alex's. He ruffled her hair, grunting affection, but his gaze drifted to Alex, bent over a canvas in the sunroom, brush whispering secrets to paper. That morning's mail had brought the subpoena, Dale's trial looming like thunderheads, forcing Jake to testify against Blood. "You okay?" Alex asked later, joining him on the porch swing, the wood creaking under their weight. Jake nodded, but tension coiled in his shoulders like barbed wire. "Just reliving it. The knife, your face." And knowing Tommy watched it all from somewhere. Alex's hand brushed his knee, a casual anchor. He'd be proud of us. The us hung, multifaceted, brothers in arms, guardians, something softer blurring edges Jake still navigated cautiously. Town life simmered with undercurrents. The community center thrived, queer kids flocking to Jake's workshops on rights and resilience. But barbs lingered at the diner, waitresses averting eyes when Alex ordered. Mia bridged worlds, her straight-passing vibe disarming skeptics. But she confided in Jake one night, voice small. "Kids at school call Alex names. Say he's why mom kicked us out." Jake's jaw set, channeling fury into action. School board meetings, pamphlets and lockers, a quiet alliance with the principal who'd lost a son to similar hate. Progress was glacial, but it carved paths. Then the letter from Philly arrived again, not effects, but a survivor. Elena, Tommy's ex, reaching out via the shelter. "He spoke of you often, Jake. Wanted you to know he forgave the silence." Enclosed, a mixtape, cassette warped but labeled for Big Bro, songs that saved me. Jake played it that evening, speakers crackling with 90s anthems of defiance and desire. Queen's Somebody to Love, raw vocals peeling back his defenses. Alex sat beside, head on shoulder, Mia sprawled on the rug sketching album art. "This one's us," she said, drawing 3 figures linked in ink, unbreakable. Trial week descended like fog, the courthouse a coliseum of starched suits and sidelong glares. Jake took the stand, voice steady recounting the motel raid, the photos revelation, Dale's venomous words. He targeted Alex because of who he is, Jake said, eyes on the jury, farmers, teachers, faces etched with small-town scripts. But who Alex is? Brave, honest, more Harlan than Blood ever was. Gasps rippled, Dale's lawyer objected, but the judge, a woman with kind creases, let it stand. Outside, protesters clashed. Church groups with signs, "God hates fags," countered by rainbow flags waving from center allies. Alex and Mia waited in the hall, hands clasped, Jake enveloping them in a hug that smelled of chalk dust and resolve. Verdict day, rain lashed windows as the foreman intoned guilty, assault, hate crime enhancements stacking like dominoes. Dale's glare from the dock was daggers, but Jake met it unflinching, whispering to Alex in the lobby, "It's over." Not quite. Mia tugged them toward a side room, where Elena waited, silver-streaked and soft-spoken. "Tommy's ashes," she said, earned small in her palms. He wanted scattering where he felt free. They drove to the lake that weekend, upstate waters lapping like old friends, words tumbling. Toasts to Tommy's laugh, his sketches hidden in journals, his love for Alex that had been quiet revolution. Back home, catharsis stirred unrest. Alex withdrew, sketches turning abstract, swirls of shadow swallowing light. "What's eating you?" Jake pressed one night, dishes clattering in the sink. Alex leaned against counter, arms crossed. "Seeing Dale. It drags up mine. Dad found my diary, beat me till I bled. Mia took the brunt after, covering for me. I ran to protect her, but guilt's a chain." Jake pulled him into a bear hug, chins on shoulders. "You protected her by surviving. That's enough." But in the quiet, Jake admitted his own chain. A crush on a beat partner years back, shoved down to fit the badge. "I get it," Alex said. "Hiding hurts more than hate." Spring bloomed defiant, cherry blossoms papering streets as the center hosted Pride, small scale, but seismic. Jake emceed, suit swapped for a rainbow pin. Alex's mural backdrop, Motel neon fracturing into prisms. Mia emceed teen stories, her poise slaying doubts. But midway, a heckler, Dale's cousin, mayoral shadow, shouted slurs from the crowd. Jake moved to shield, but Alex stepped up, mic in hand. Hate's loud because it's scared. We're here because we're not. Cheers drowned the boo, a turning, neighbors nodding, a deputy clapping Jake's back. Proud of you, Harlan. That night, bonfire at the lake, flames dancing like Tommy's spirit. Elena joined, sharing tales of Philly nights, underground clubs where love defied death. He danced like fire, she said, eyes misty. Jake envisioned it, brother free in ways he'd never allowed. Alex sketched the blaze, capturing embers in eyes. Mia's, Elena's, his own reflected in Jake's. Family Portrait, he titled it. And in the glow, boundaries softened further. Jake's hand lingering on Alex's back, a warmth neither named but both felt. Summer heat waves warped the air, testing bonds. Mia's crush, a girl from art class, sparked her coming out, tearful over ice cream. What if she says no? Jake and Alex flanked her, chorus of "Then she's missing out." It worked. First date butterflies at the drive-in. Jake chaperoning from afar, heart swelling. But Alex's past resurfaced, a Philly contact, warning of an ex, possessive, violent, tracking him. Paranoia crept, shadows lengthening. Jake upped patrols, sleep fractured. I'm not a kid anymore, Alex protested. I can handle. But Jake's fear was primal. Tommy's lost a specter. The confrontation came sweltering. Ex pounding on the door at midnight. Bellows of "Come out, traitor." Jake answered, gun holstered but stance iron. Leave, or you're next in cuffs. Words escalated, fists flew. Jake taking a split knuckle, subduing with a tackle that echoed the motel. Alex watched from stairs, face ashen. You keep saving me, he said later, bandaging Jake's hand. When do I save you? Jake cupped his cheek, thumb tracing jaw. You do. Every day by being here. The gaze held, charged, affection cresting into clarity. Not romantic, but romantic in its depth, a love vast as lakes, unlabeled. Fall harvest brought harvest of truths. The mayoral cousin indicted, corruption web unraveling. Jake's testimony key. Promotions whispered, lieutenant, perhaps, but he eyed the center more, badge secondary to bridge building. Alex's exhibit toured, shadows to light, drawing city eyes, Mia's poetry chapbook bundled in. One eve, over cider, Elena proposed. Tommy's trust, modest, but for the center. In his name. They toasted, for souls linked, the bungalow no longer empty, but echoing. Winter's hush fell gentle, snow blanketing sins. Christmas lights twinkled, Mia's treetopper a sketched Tommy, wings of ink. Jake gifted Alex a locket, photo halved, brothers side by side. Full circle, Alex murmured, fastening it. In the quiet, with Mia asleep and Elena visiting, they sat porch side, stars pricking velvet sky. What now? Alex asked. Jake smiled, arm around shoulders. Now? We live. For him. For us. The world, once motel dark, glowed with possibility. Love's quiet victory over storms. New Year dawned crisp, resolutions scribbled on napkins amid confetti. Jake vowing less overtime, more lake days. Alex sketching exhibits in the city. Mia declaring poetry, slam domination. The bungalow thrummed with plans, a far cry from the echoey tomb it had been. But undercurrents stirred. Jake's lieutenant stripes pinned in a quiet ceremony. Brass patting backs while whispers lingered. Harlan's gone soft on the rainbow crowd. He shrugged it off, focusing on the center's expansion. Youth hostel attached, safe harbor for runaways like Alex once was. Spring rains nourished growth. Alex's mural project bloomed town-wide. Vibrant declarations on faded facades. See me, love wins. Fists raised in chalk defiance. Mia interned there, her voice amplifying stories. Hers included, in zines that flew off shelves. Jake mentored, awkward at first with terms like non-binary and chosen family, but earnest, earning nods from kids who'd eyed his uniform like chains. One, a trans boy named Riley, reminded him of Tommy's quiet rebellion. Jake shared the photo, Riley's eyes widening. He looks free. He was, Jake said. And you will be. Tensions simmered elsewhere. Dale's appeal dragged. Appeals court a viper's nest of old boys' ties. Jake testified again, voice honed sharper, detailing not just the assault, but the systemic rot, the Harlan's grip on local power, bribes to bury complaints from queer victims. It's not one man, he said, jury pen scratching. It's a legacy we end. Verdict stuck. Dale remanded, but the cousins' trial loomed larger, media swarming the town like locusts. Reporters cornered Alex at the gallery. How's it feel, the cop's pet project? He fired back, calm fire. Feels like justice. Try it sometime. Summer scorched, festivals pulsing with bass and belonging. Pride 2.0, bigger, bolder, Jake marching beside Alex, Mia on shoulders waving flags. Elena visited, bringing Philly flair, drag brunch under tents, stories of Tommy's underground shows. He vogued like a storm. She laughed, demonstrating hips that had them in stitches. But joy cracked when a call came. Riley, missing, echoes of Alex's flight. Jake mobilized, cruiser prowling back roads, Alex and Mia plastering flyers. They found him at dawn, huddled in a barn, frost-kissed and fierce. Couldn't go home, Riley whispered. Dad said I'd burn. Jake enveloped him, radioing social. You won't. Not anymore. Fall's amber haze brought milestones. Alex's first solo show in Syracuse, echoes unsilenced, canvases pulsing with emotion, motel shards morphing to embraces, Tommy's grin woven in threads of gold. Jake hung back in the crowd, pride swelling as critics murmured raw authenticity. Mia's slam debut slayed, verses on sisterhood slicing hearts. Post-show toast, Elena pulled Jake aside. Tommy'd say you're blooming late, but bright. He chuckled, but her gaze softened. And Alex? That boy's light for you. Jake nodded, unspoken truths aligning. Winter whispered warnings. The cousins' trial erupted, scandals spilling, embezzlement from youth funds, targeted harassment logs unearthed. Jake's deposition was grueling, hours under fluorescence, lawyers probing like scalpels. Personal vendetta? One sneered. No, Jake countered. Public duty. Leaks hit papers. Cops' queer crusade. Headlines twisting heroism to scandal. Backlash bit. Tires slashed. Hate mail in the box. Alex fortified, organizing countervigils. Mia pinned op-eds that went viral, team voice cutting through noise. We're not crusades. We're kin. Climax crested in court. The cousin crumbling on stand. Tears admitting family first, but evidence damning. Text to Dale. Handle the fag problem. Jake's cross burned. Problem? Lives. Jury deliberated 2 days, town holding breath. Verdict. Guilty, sentences stacking. Cheers outside, but Jake slipped away, drained, to the lake where Tommy's ashes danced in wind. Alex found him, blanket draped. You did it. We did. Embrace lingered, hearts sinking in the hush. Spring renewal, center groundbreaking, plaque reading Tommy's haven. Riley cut the ribbon, voice steady. Summer internships bloomed. Mia to NYU early admit, Alex scouting galleries. Jake, captain now, balanced badge with board seat. One eve, bonfire redux, Elena gifting a quilt, Tommy's shirts pieced, stories stitched. Wrapping him, she said. They did, for then 5 with Riley, tails weaving tighter. But twists lingered, an anonymous donor. Turns out, a reformed Harlan aunt, bequeathing land for expansion. Redemption's late, her letter read, but yours. Fall Harvest Festival, Alex proposed collaboration. Jake's stories illustrated, book on resilience. Mia edited, Elena blurbed. Launch night, packed house, readings raw. Jake's voice breaking on Tommy's name, Alex's art illuminating. Q&A turned tide, a heckler softened by Riley's testimony. I was wrong. Healing, incremental. Winter's grace. Holidays heartfelt. Mia home with tales, Riley apprenticing art. Jake and Alex, porch swing philosophers, traced constellations. What if that photo never surfaced? Alex mused. Fate, Jake said. Or fight. Their hands clasped, love's spectrum vast, familial, fierce, forever. The world, once shadowed, shone mosaic bright. Dawn's first blush kissed the lake's edge as Jake laced boots, thermos steaming in hand. Ritual patrol turned reflection, badge heavier with captain stars, but lighter with purpose. The center's hostel buzzed now, beds filled with stories like Alex's. Runaways remade, not remanded. Mia's dorm calls crackled with city energy. NYU's wild, but home's heart. While Riley's murals graced walls, bold strokes claiming space. Alex, gallery-bound in Syracuse, commuted weekends, his presence a gravitational pull Jake navigated with care, affection deepened, platonic roots twisting toward unnamed blooms. Summer swelter brought the book's release. From Motel to Morning, co-authored, shelves stacking in indie shops. Signings drew crowds, queer elders nodding wisdom, youth snapping selfies. One panel, a critic probed, Harlan, from enforcer to advocate. Pivot or penance? Jake paused, Alex's gaze steadying. Awakening. One photo, one kid, cracked the shell. Applause thundered, but post-event, in the green room, Alex's hug lingered. Your words. They heal. Jake's pulse quickened, boundaries blurring in the hush. Fall foliage framed challenges. Budget cuts threatened the center, council grumbling priorities. Jake rallied. Fundraisers, Elena's Philly network wiring grants. Mia's viral campaign Harbor Hearts trending. Protests peaceful, signs fun love, not hate. Victory narrow, but secured. Toast at the bungalow. To stubborn hearts. Winter whispered expansions. Counseling wing, Tommy's name etched in beam. Spring surged with surprise. Alex's offer, Manhattan Gallery solo. Big leagues, Jake said, pride masking pang. Packing boxes piled. But one night, rain lashed. Alex confessed over whiskey sours, scared. Of leaving this. Us. Jake's hand covered his, thumb circling. Go. Shine. We'll bridge miles. But the kiss, impulsive, chased on cheek, ignited questions. Was it brotherly? More? Labels loomed, but love defied boxes. Summer separation tested. Alex's city whirl, interviews, installs, texts emoji punctuated, calls late-night confessions. Jake dove into work, mentoring Riley through transition hoops, town hall pushes for inclusive policies. Mia summered home, internship bridging worlds. One weekend, Alex returned, exhibit triumphant, but eyes shadowed. Ex from Philly showed, jealous, stirring shit online. Trolls swarmed, dredging motel drama. Cop's boy toy. Jake shielded, statement to press. Lies don't dim truth. Fall's chill brought convergence. Books tour climaxed in NYC. Jake flying in, suit swapped for casual. Crowd electric, readings raw. Alex's vulnerability on stage, Jake's steady anchor. After party, rooftop under stars, Elena toasting. To kin, blood, or chosen. Mia danced with Riley, joy infectious. Alone-ish, Jake and Alex leaned railing, city hum below. Missed this, Alex said. You. Jake turned, gaze locking. Missed my light. The almost kiss hung, pulled back by sirens, timing's tease. Winter wrapped gentle, holidays hybrid, Mia shuttling, Riley family now. Center's gala glittered, funds flowing. But January iced with loss. Elena's diagnosis, cancer quiet but cruel. Tommy's turn to watch, she quipped, but eyes begged legacy. They rallied. Alex curating tribute show, Jake organizing care, Mia penning letters. Elena's last lake visit, earn companion, words wise. Love fierce, no regrets. She slipped Spring's Eve, leaving quilts and grace. Spring mourned then mended. Memorial mural, Alex's brush therapy. Jake's promotion to chief whispered, but he eyed federal task force. Hate crimes unit. Bigger fight, he told Alex, packing for training. Distance again, but video calls deepened dialogues. Dreams, doubts, desires unspoken. What are we? Alex asked one pixelated night. Jake breathed. Everything. Friends. Family. Lovers of life. Laughter eased, but seed planted. Summer's heat hatched it. Alex's return for center anniversary, keynote duo. Post-speech, garden walk, hands brushing intentional. Jake. I feel, me too. Kiss then, soft under willows, exploratory, affirming, no rush. Not lust, but landing. Two souls sinking after storms. Mia hooped from bushes. Finally. Riley grinned. About time, dads. Fall flourished. Relationship navigated slow, public but private, dates lakeside, city escapes. Book sequel Brood, bridges built. Town evolved, pride mayor endorsed, Jake's badge symbol of shift. Winter's hearth, first holiday as couple, Mia's toast to roots and wings. Elena's quilt draped couch, Tommy's photo framed beside new snapshots, Alex's ringless hand in Jake's, promise etched. But twists twined, federal posting loomed, DC call. Go, Alex urged. I'll follow. Sacrifice sweet, future vast. Spring's bloom, wedding whispers, small, lake vows, Mia officiating, Riley ring bearer. I do, Jake said, eyes wet. To all of you. Love's arc complete, not end, eternal dawn. The cherry blossoms surrendered petals like confetti to the breeze, carpeting the lakeside path where Jake and Alex strolled, fingers interlaced. A habit now, unremarkable as breath. DC's pull tugged, Jake's task force briefing a week away, but this interlude anchored. Mia's graduation looming, Riley's art scholarship sealed. The center stood sentinel, Tommy's haven a beacon, its doors swinging wider with each season. Think she'll cry? Alex teased, nodding to Mia's cap and gown dreams. Jake chuckled. Sobbing mess. Like her brother at mine. Summer's embrace was languid, DC deferred for family. Jake commuting, badge dual duty. Wedding plans wove whimsy. Vows handwritten, rings simple silver etched with echo. Mia planned cake, Riley florals, queer kin crafting ceremony. But Elena's absence echoed. Her quilt became chuppa fabric, stories stitched in every fold. Rehearsal dinner, backyard fireflies winking, toasts turned tides. A former deputy, once skeptic, raising glass. To Harlan, changed my lens. Progress, palatably earned. Fall's palette painted the ceremony. October oaks gold, lake mirror calm. Small circle, center staff, Philly survivors, town allies, gathered under quilt canopy. Mia's words trembled. You too? Proof love rewrites scripts. Rings exchanged, Jake's vow raw. From photo to forever, you're my dawn. Alex's saved me, then saw me. I choose us. Kiss sealed, cheers rippling waterward, Tommy's spirit in the wind's whisper. Reception danced till dusk, Mia's playlist blending anthems. Queen to Hosier, hearts sinking. Honeymoon hushed, Adirondacks cabin, no signals, just trails and talks. Nights star-canopied, days kayaking, confessions cascading, Alex's gallery dreams, Jake's post-retirement visions. Writing, perhaps, truths from trenches. Kids, Alex mused, fingers tracing Jake's palm. Someday, foster first like us. Laughter light, future fertile. Winter quartered in D.C., Jake's unit a whirlwind. Cases cracking conspiracies, badges banding against bias. Alex joined mid-season, Syracuse sublets swapped for Capitol lease, murals commissioned for Metro. Long days, but dinners deliberate. Market halls, candlelit debates on policy, art's role in reform. Mia visited, NYU tales tumbling, Riley tagging for inspiration. Holidays hybrid, lake for Christmas, DC New Year's, fireworks framing faces flushed with fullness. Spring's surge brought storms. Unit bust, high-profile hate ring, Jake's lead lauded but targeted. Threats scrawled on car, shadows tailing. Alex fortified, self-defense classes tandem, but fear flickered. Not losing you, he said, packing Jake's go-bag. Culmination courtroom clash. Perps paraded, Jake's testimony torch. Hate's not heritage, it's handcuffs. Convictions stacked, press praising Chief Harlan's hammer. Backlash brief, buffered by allies. Summer simmered with settlement. Jake's sabbatical, book tour redux. Vows and vigil, love laced with justice. Alex illustrated, covers capturing Motel to matrimony arc signings spanned coasts. Fans sharing parallels. Runaways redeemed, cops converted. 1. A teen with Alex's eyes, hugged tight. Your story? Mine now. Impact intimate, infinite. Fall's Harvest hosted homecoming. Upstate return, center directorship for Jake, Alex Dean of Arts. Mia's internship, Riley's residency, family fractal, expanding. But echo emerged. Letter from Dale, prison stamped, contrite scrawl. Saw the wedding clip. Tommy'd smile. Forgive. Jake pondered, Alex reading over shoulder. Your call. Reply crafted careful. Forgiveness freeze. Seek it in mirrors. No response, but weight lifted, legacy loosening. Winter's weave tightened. First anniversary lake locked. Vows renewed impromptu. Mia announced engagement. Her girl, city lawyer, joy doubling. Riley came out broader. Non-binary they slashed them, embraced seamless. Center's wing opened. Elena's legacy, counseling for elders. Gala glittered, donors diverse. Jake's speech stirring. From one photo's flash, a family forged. Join us. Spring's renewal rippled. Mia's wedding spring planned. Parallels poignant. Jake walked her, Alex best man beaming. Vows echoed theirs, cycles circling. Summer Sabbath, road trip relic hunt, Philly haunts to motel marker, plaque now, resilience born here. Touches tender, history hallowed. Fall's fervor, Book 3, generations guarded, youth voices amplified. Alex's TEDx, art as armor, viral vortex. Jake's policy push, state bills blooming. Winter's warmth, holidays hearth hugged, quilts cocooning kin. Mia's bump announced, anti-Alex, Uncle Jake, legacy literal. But beneath bliss, undercurrents. Jake's health check, shadow on scan, benign, but reminder. We fight, Alex said, echoing motel might. Spring skin clear, size seismic. Summer's sun sealed it. Family picnic, new niece cooing. Riley's exhibit unveiling Tommy-inspired triptych. Fall's finale, center's decade mark, gala grand. Jake and Alex keynote duo, arcs intertwined. One night changed everything, Jake said. But every dawn chooses it. Applause avalanche, toast timeless. Winter's whisper, snow silent, love loud. Photo on mantle, brothers beaming, circle complete. The first snowflake spiraled like a secret onto the windowsill, where Alex traced patterns in frost, coffee mug steaming companion. 10 years post-motel, the bungalow, now center adjacent, hummed with history. Mia's daughter toddling, Riley's partner adding to the chorus, Jake's den stacked with case files turned memoirs. Chief emeritus, he consulted, but home held sway. Lectures at colleges, hands-on with grandkids-to-be. Alex's studio overflowed, canvases charting decades. Motel scars to marital moons, kin constellations. Spring's thaw unveiled unveils. Mia's second, boy named Tommy, legacy loop. Christening lakeside, waters lapping blessings. Jake held the babe, eyes misting. Full circle, little man. Alex sketched the scene, quicksilver lines capturing light. Summer's symphony, family camp, tents pitched, stories, round fire. Riley's transition tales, partner's poetry, niece's giggles. Jake led hikes, badge swapped for binoculars, spotting eagles as metaphors. Soar free, he told them all. Fall's fanfare, books quartet, echoes eternal, oral histories compiled. Launch literary festival, upstate roots celebrated. Panel with Mia, now author, Riley curator, dynasty dynamic. Q&A queried, regrets? Alex fielded, none. Pain paved this. Jake added, photo was key, love the lock. Winter's vigil, holidays hybrid, generations gathered. Tommy's triptych hung hearthside, colors conversation starters. New Year's, resolutions retired, gratitude gospel now. But memory stirred. Anniversary Eve, Jake unearthing old cassette, anthems aging gracefully. Dance, Alex grinned, swaying kitchen lit. Moves rusty, but rhythm rooted. Spring spark, center's milestone merger, regional network, Harlan model franchised. Jake keynote kickoff, voice veteran, from fringe to force. Applause authentic, skeptics long silenced. Alex's mural maze, interactive, visitors tracing paths from dark to dawn. Summer's sojourn, Europe echo, Philly to Paris, Elena's haunts honored. Galleries gawked Alex's work, Jake's tales translated. Venice vaporetto, vows whispered, still choosing. Fall's flourish, Mia's lit tour tandem, family flotilla. Niece's first sketch, prodigy potential. Riley's wedding, non-binary nuptials novel. Jake officiating, words woven wise. Love labels none, it liberates. Winter's weave, snow sculptures, kin-crafted, motel miniature melting to monument. But beneath bounty, burdens brief. Jake's knee, patrol relic, surgery swift. Alex bedside, sketches soothing. Recovery ramble. Saved again? Jake quipped. Always, Alex affirmed. Spring's stride renewed. Walks waterfront. Cadences synced. Summer's summit. Grant Gala. Donors dazzled by demo. Youth testimonies. Tommy's Haven 2.0 virtual. Jake's pitch passionate. Past propels. Present protects. Funds flowed. Future fortified. Falls fest. Harvest hoedown. Center square dance safe space. Mia's book Baby launched. Dedication. To saviors and seers. Winter's wisdom. Quiet quarters. Quilts cocooned. Jake journaled. Alex archived. Decade diaries for descendants. New Year's nebula. Stars scripted wishes. Collective. Continue. Spring's symphony swelled. Tommy's teen tales. Budding artist. Christening cousin. Cycle ceaseless. Summer's saga. Road rally. Relic revisited. Motel raised. Park planted. Plaque polished. Photo etched eternal. Jake's hand in Alex's. Began here. Blooms everywhere. Fall's finale flourish. Retrospective. Alex's life's work walled. Jake's forward framed. Light from shadows. Love from loss. Opening ovation. Tears traced. Winter's warm. Hearth hymns. Harmonies hummed. Queen encore. Kin chorus. Yet, in hush, horizons hinted. Retirement Rome. RV reverie. Grand tour. Grandkids guided. Spring's seed. Yes, wheels whispered. Summer's send-off. Center helm to Riley. Batten beautiful. Fall's farewell feast. Toasts timeless. Transitions tender. Winter's window. Snow silent. Souls synced. Jake to Alex. Eternal. That photo? Best thief. Stole my walls. Gifted world. Alex's reply. Kiss crowned. Ours forever. Dawn dawned. Duo entwined. Legacy living. Love luminous. The end. No, endless echo.